Have you ever sat beside an airplane window and looked at the wing? Maybe you noticed the curved tips at the end of the wings and thought, that looks like a beautiful design. Then you spotted those strange pod-like structures underneath the wing and wondered, are those fuel tanks? Well, I had exactly the same questions, but after learning how aircraft wings work, I discovered that every one of these parts has a specific purpose. They're carefully engineered to make airplanes fly more safely, travel farther, and use less fuel. So today, let's explore the hidden technology behind airplane wings. Let's begin at the very end of the wing. Those upward curved extensions are called winglets. To understand why they exist, we first need to understand what happens to the air around a wing. As an airplane flies, the air pressure below the wing is higher than the pressure above it, near the wingtip. The high-pressure air naturally flows around the tip toward the lower-pressure air above the wing. This creates a swirling column of air known as a wingtip vortex. These vortices create induced drag, which means the airplane has to work a little harder and burn more fuel to keep flying. Winglets reduce the strength of these vortices by controlling the airflow around the wingtip. The result is less induced drag, better fuel efficiency, a longer flying range, and lower emissions. That's why you'll find winglets on most modern passenger aircraft, although their shape differs from one aircraft to another. Now let's move to the back edge of the wing. These large movable panels are called flaps. Flaps are mainly used during takeoff and landing because airplanes fly much more slowly during these parts of the flight. When pilots extend the flaps, they move downward and backward. This changes the shape of the wing, making it more curved and increasing its surface area. As a result, the wing produces more lift while also creating more drag. The extra lift allows the airplane to fly safely at lower speeds without stalling. During takeoff, pilots usually use a small flap setting to provide additional lift while allowing the aircraft to accelerate efficiently. During landing, the flaps are extended much farther, allowing the aircraft to approach the runway at a slower and safer speed. Once the aircraft reaches cruising altitude, the flaps are fully retracted because a clean wing produces less drag and is much more fuel efficient. Next, look at the panels on the top surface of the wing. These are called spoilers. As the name suggests, spoilers spoil the smooth airflow over the wing. Unlike flaps, spoilers reduce lift and increase drag. During flight, pilots may use them to help the aircraft descend or slow down without increasing engine power changes. After landing, the spoilers automatically rise from the top of the wings. This greatly reduces the lift produced by the wings, transferring more of the aircraft's weight onto the landing gear. With more weight on the wheels, the brakes become much more effective, helping the aircraft stop safely. On many aircraft, spoilers can also assist the ailerons during turns. Now let's find out what those pod-like structures underneath the wings actually do. They're called flap track fairings, and no, they're not fuel tanks. When the flaps extend, they don't simply move downward, they also slide backward along strong guide tracks. Inside these fairings are parts of the flap mechanism, including guide tracks and actuators that allow the flaps to move smoothly. The fairings protect these components while maintaining an aerodynamic shape that helps reduce drag. Depending on the aircraft, you might see 2, 3, or even more flap track fairings under each wing. Although they look unusual, they are an essential part of the wing's design. Alright, so the next time when you look out of an airplane window, you'll know exactly what you're seeing. The curved tips at the end of the wings are winglets, helping reduce induced drag and improve fuel efficiency. The large movable panels at the back are flaps, producing extra lift for takeoff and landing. The panels on top of the wings are spoilers, reducing lift and helping slow the aircraft after touchdown. And those strange pods underneath the wings are flap track fairings, protecting parts of the mechanism that moves the flaps. But these aren't the only moving parts on an airplane. There are also ailerons on the wings, the rudder on the vertical tail and the elevators on the horizontal tail. Together, these control surfaces allow the aircraft to roll, pitch, and yaw through the air. If you'd like to learn how they work together to control an airplane, check out the next video linked in the description or click on the video card appearing in the top left corner of your screen. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's always been curious about how airplanes really work.